Welcome back everyone. In this lecture, we'll be starting the topics of module 3. So we'll begin by the introduction to image restoration and then image degradation and restoration model. Degradation due to noise only. In that, we'll be learning about noise models and noise PDF. The following series of lectures will be on image restoration concept, which is module 3 of the VTU syllabus for 7th semester digital image processing. This is the prescribed syllabus for module 3, which is basically taken from chapter 5 of the textbook. So we'll learn about noise models, restoration in the presence of only noise using spatial filtering and frequency domain filtering, and then we'll take a look at linear position invariant degradations, estimating the degradation functions, inverse filtering, minimum mean square error, which is basically Wiener filtering, and then constrained least squares filtering. The goal of image restoration is to improve an image in some predefined sense. And here the goal for restoration are clearly mentioned, and we need to achieve those goals or objectives. And that is what differs it from the image enhancement. In enhancement, it's basically a subjective process, so it varies from user to user. So there are no predefined objectives to achieve. So it's basically to enhance whatever we are given. But in restoration, the objectives are clearly defined, and we need to achieve that. And in order to perform image restoration, uh, we consider a prior knowledge of the degradation phenomena, and then we basically model the degradation and apply the inverse process to recover the original image. So this is the approach we take to restore the image. So for this image restoration, the target is basically a degraded digital image. So we have a degraded digital image as the input, and we try to restore it to its original form. And sensor, digitizer, display degradations are less considered. And we may take a spatial domain approach or frequency domain approach for restoration, depending on the type of degradation that has taken place. So let's understand the concept of image restoration. So image restoration is to restore a degraded image back to its original form, while image enhancement is to manipulate the image so that it is suitable for a specific application, as we studied in the previous module. So in restoration, what we have is a input image f of xy, which has gone through some degradation, so represented by this degradation function h. And then after degradation, it also gets some additive noise given by eta xy. So totally, so you have input image into degradation function plus eta of xy, which is additive noise given by this g of xy. Okay, so this g of xy is the degraded image. Then the task is to design a filter, restoration filter, which basically inverses these functions, degradation plus noise. Okay, and we have the estimate of the original image, which is given by f cap of xy. Okay, so we need to restore the image to its original form, which is f of xy, by removing this degradation plus noise. Okay, so that we see a original looking image. So till here, okay, so if you include this degradation function and noise, that is basically you can divide it as a degradation part, and then the remaining part as restoration. So this is the restoration part. So the degradation model is given by, this degradation model is basically f of xy convolution h of xy plus eta of xy, okay, which is the noise, additive noise. Okay, so this is the degradation model. So this h of xy is a system that causes image distortion and eta of xy is noise. We will first consider the degradation due to noise only. The principal source of noise in digital image arises during the acquisition or transmission. The performance of image sensors is affected by a variety of factors such as environmental conditions during image acquisition and by the quality of the sensing elements themselves. For instance, in acquiring images with the CCD camera, light levels and sensor temperature are major factors affecting the amount of noise in the resulting image. Images are corrupted during transmission principally due to interference in the channel used for transmission, like there could be a lightning while transmission, and that will result in the noise. So we can go for either spatial properties in spatial domain to identify the noise, uh, or we can go for the frequency domain properties of noise. So in spatial domain, basically we check for the statistical behavior of the gray level values of pixels, and we take the noise parameters and how they are correlated with the image, and usually the correlation is less, or they are uncorrelated with the image parameters in spatial domain. In some cases, specific cases, there could be some correlation, but most of the times there will be less correlation with the pixel values, and noise parameters are basically independent of these pixel values. And in frequency domain, basically we plot the Fourier spectrum and check for the noise, and for example, you can consider white noise. So it causes a constant Fourier spectrum, and then after analyzing the noise, we can do uh, restoration by removing those noise. Let's first take the example of white noise. So in this case, autocorrelation function is an impulse function multiplied by a constant given by this equation. Because it's two-dimensional, we need the summation terms twice. Okay, one along rows, one along columns. So you have the impulse function multiplied by a noise here. So it means there is no correlation between any two pixels in the noise image, and there is no way to predict the next noise value. And the spectrum of the autocorrelation function is a constant. Basically, that's why we call it as white noise. So white is basically taken from visible spectrum, where white light is composed of all the visible frequencies in equal proportion. That's why we term this noise as white, because it's a constant along the spectrum. It involves all the frequencies in that range. Okay, so that's why we call it as white, and the noise as white noise. Let's learn about noise probability density functions. So basically, noises are taken as random variables, and because they are random variables, noises cannot be predicted, but can be approximately described in statistical way using the PDFs. And PDF tells how much each value occurs. And noise in image can be classified according to the distribution of the values of pixels or its histogram. Or basically, we take the normalized histogram. Most common PDFs found in image processing applications are Gaussian noise, Rayleigh noise, Elong noise or gamma noise, exponential noise, uniform noise, and impulse noise, or basically called as salt and pepper noise. First type of noise we are going to learn is the Gaussian noise, and it is characterized by two parameters, mu, which is mean, and sigma square, which is the variance. And the equation given uh, by P of z equal to 1 by root 2 pi sigma into e raised to minus z minus u whole square divided by 2 sigma square. Here are the two parameters which define the characteristics of the noise, and basically the occurrence of z is 1, okay, over the interval minus infinity to infinity. So probability of occurrence of z over minus infinity to plus infinity is 1, as it should be. And this Gaussian noise is tractable in both spatial and frequency domain, and that we saw in the previous lecture, where the Gaussian shape was retained in both spatial and in frequency domain. And basically electronic circuit noise and sensor noise gives rise to this type of Gaussian noise. So this is the Gaussian noise PDF, and you can see here it is the shape, the bell shape, okay, and this shape is retained in both spatial and frequency domain. That is the characteristics of this shape. So one more characteristics here is the 70% of the occurrence will happen between this value, okay. So between these 2 points, mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma, between these 2 points we can see 70% of the values, and between mu minus 2 sigma and mu plus 2 sigma you can see 95% of the occurrence. Second type of noise is the Rayleigh noise, and it is defined by this equation: P of z is equal to 2 by b into z minus a into e raised to minus z minus a square by b for z value greater than or equal to a, and if not it will be 0. So the PDF is given by this image. So you can see it's somewhat similar to Gaussian on the right hand side, but on the left hand side it's basically different, okay, compared to the Gaussian. And the mean and variance of this density are given by this equation. Mu is equal to a plus root of pi b by 4, and the sigma square is equal to b into 4 minus pi by 4. And a and b can be obtained through mean and variance. So next type of noise we are going to learn is the Erlang noise, or also called as gamma noise. It is defined by this equation: P of z is equal to a raised to b into z raised to b minus 1 divided by b minus 1 factorial into e raised to minus az for z value greater than or equal to 0, and for z value less than 0 the p of z will be 0. And the PDF plot is given here, and it's similar to the Rayleigh noise, okay, only it is shifted towards left, okay. It starts at the origin, and the mean and variance of this density are given by mu equal to b by a, and sigma square is equal to b by a square. And a and b can be obtained through mean and variance. So next type of noise is the exponential noise, and it is defined by this one: p of z is equal to a into e raised to minus az for z greater than or equal to 0, and it is 0 for z value less than 0. And this is the PDF of exponential noise. And the mean and variance of this density are given by mu equal to 1 by a, and sigma square is equal to 1 by a square. And you can treat this as a special case of Erlang PDF with b equal to 1. If you refer that PDF of Erlang, it's basically 1/2 is like this, okay. It is slightly shifted to right, and you have drop down to 0, okay. So you just shift it to left hand side and make it big, make b equal to 1, you get this exponential noise. Next type of noise is the uniform noise, which is basically less practical and is used for random number generator, and it is given by this equation: P of z is equal to 1 by b minus a if z lies between a and b, and it is 0 otherwise. So this is the PDF plot for uniform noise, and so it remains flat between the interval a to b as defined in this equation. So the mean is given by a plus b by 2, and variance is sigma square equal to b minus a whole square by 12. The last type of noise we are going to learn for this image restoration concept is impulse noise, or also called as salt and pepper noise. So basically it's caused by quick transients such as faulty switching during imaging. So the equation or the PDF is defined by P of Z is equal to P of A for Z equal to A, PB for Z equal to B, and it's 0 otherwise. So it's either PA or PB, okay, for Z equal to A or B. So this is the plot impulse. You can see two impulses at A and B, and at all other locations it's 0. Okay, so that's why it's called as impulse. High intensity uh, at a certain location, okay, not at all locations. So if either PA or PB is 0, then it is called as unipolar impulse, or else we can call it as bipolar impulse. Impulses are usually stronger than the image signals in intensities, but because we are using 8-bit for grayscale images, so the maximum value can be either 255 or it can be a minimum of 0. Okay, so 0 means black and 255 means white, and it is the only type of noise that can be distinguished from others visually. That means if there is a salt and pepper noise, then human observer can straight away tell that it is salt and pepper noise by looking at the image itself, because you can see the uh, black and white dots on the image. Let us test for noise behavior. So we have a test pattern like this. So what we have here is a circle, white circle and a gray square which covers the circle, and then we have a black border, okay, at the outside. So this is the test pattern. So you ignore this white line here. That is the frame. Okay, we don't consider that for our testing purpose. So the histogram of this image, you can imagine you have this black area. So you will get you will get a line for this one to represent number of black pixels, and you will get a line representation for this to represent gray level. This gray value, it's darkish gray somewhat, and then you will get a line representing this white circle. So the histogram will be like this. So black, gray, and the white circle. Okay, so this is the test pattern and its histogram. Let us apply different types of noise on this image and check its histogram. Okay, so we should be able to see some patterns in the histograms. Let's see. Okay, so we have the original image, and this is the output image after you add the noise. Okay, so we are adding the noise, and then we get the degraded images. So when we apply different types of noise, so like Gaussian, Rayleigh, and Erlang, look at the histogram. Okay, original histogram was quite straightforward, only 3 lines were there. Now you look at the histogram after you add the Gaussian, Rayleigh, and Erlang noise. You can see the pattern of Gaussian here and Rayleigh and Erlang, okay, as we studied when we talked about these noises in detail. So the pattern will be quite evident when we plot the histogram. Okay, that is how we can identify the type of noise which is corrupting or degrading the image. Now another example, now we will try with exponential, uniform, and impulse noise. Now see here, for this image which is corrupted by uniform exponential noise, and it is quite evident in its histogram here. Uniform, okay, it's totally uniform here, okay, and nothing in between. And impulse, you cannot exactly see it like this here, because one impulse function is here to represent 0 black pixel, okay, along the 0 line, okay, and then so I'll mark it here. So this is where it is located, and for high value one more here, okay. So two impulses are there in this image, okay, when you embed the impulse noise in this. So and visually you can clearly say this is a salt and pepper noise, okay, quite evident. You can see white patches and dark patches, but here exponential and uniform, it's very difficult to identify whether it's exponential noise or uniform noise by just looking at the images. But when you plot the histogram, you can clearly identify whether it's exponential or uniform or Rayleigh noise or Gaussian noise by looking at the shape. This is the takeaway from this uh, test image and its patterns. So in this lecture, we had an introduction to image restoration and some preview of the module. Image restoration and degradation model. Degradation due to noise only, in which we started with the noise models and the noise PDF and the test image and how the noise affects the histogram of that image. In the next lecture, we'll continue with the degradation due to noise only concept. In that, we'll learn about periodic noise and estimation of noise parameters. See you at the next lecture. Thank you.